Thank you very much for staying and welcome back to the program. Now, the National Investment Bank, NIB, has welcomed plans by the incoming administration to refocus the bank to provide financing for the industrial sector. Addressing the Private Enterprises Federation earlier this week, President-elect Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo noted the industrialization process cannot be attained if cost of credit remains high. Meanwhile, board chairman of the NIB, Togbi Apede, the 14th, has commended the president-elect on the move and expressed the bank's readiness to carry through the agenda of funding, especially small businesses.
Speaking at a cocktail event to appreciate customers of the bank, board chairman of NIB, Togbe Afedi the 14th, applauded the president-elect's quest to industrialize the country. He said the bank was well positioned to take advantage of the incoming government's job creation agenda.
Luckily, NIB features prominently in the new government's agenda. In a speech to certain business groups earlier this week, our president-elect talked about their desire to refocus NIB's activities so that it can provide capital to support various initiatives and in particular to support young entrepreneurs. And I believe our network positions us to support this initiative and bring development to our country. The SME sector is very important to every economy, and Ghana is not an exception.
Established in 1963, the National Investment Bank was the first development bank in Ghana to promote and strengthen rapid industrialization of all sectors of the Ghanaian economy. NIB now operates as a universal bank focusing on commercial banking activities. Togbe Afede enumerated strategies being rolled out to enhance the competitiveness of the bank in the coming year.
Our branch expansion strategy to reach out to the unbanked and also to bring our products and services to the doorstep of our valued customers is on course. In line with this, NIB opened 7 branches this year. This has increased our branch network to 45 as at today. We also plan to open more branches next year as part of our strategy. We have the desire to open 10 more branches come 2017 in Makola, Accra Newtown, Bantama, Kaswa, East Airport, and Achimota, among others. Ladies and gentlemen, we believe all these initiatives would enhance the bank's competitiveness to take advantage of the expected rebound of economic activity with the inauguration of the new government in January 2017.
Some customers spoke to Joy Business.
My expectation from the bank is to look into the basic businesses, as in small-scale businesses, to stabilize the economy. Do you understand? Yeah.
They're very serviceable. I'm just at peace with them.
The event also saw the launch of NIB's MasterCard services.
Now, the National Petroleum Authority, NPA, says it has started enforcing its new regulations which bars siting of fuel stations in residential areas. The move has been influenced by recent gas explosions in some areas, mainly due to the siting of these stations. Chief Executive of the National Petroleum Authority, Moses Asaga, tells Joy Business this should help minimize the effect of explosions on residents.
We recently have tightened the license requirements and making sure that we really would not give license for construction of gas stations and petrol stations in heavily dominated residential areas. But as again we will say, Louis was there before some of these residential houses and the rest came in. I even noticed that there was a vocational school 100 meters from it. And that is why since June 14th, we have come up with new guidelines for new gas stations and new filling stations, which does not permit the siting of those facilities in the areas that we have described, that is residential, industrial, clustered social facilities, hospitals. And that is what we have been doing since after June 3rd. And that is the method we have been using.
Meanwhile, the NPA is attributing the cause of gas explosion at the Louis service station near the Trade Fair Center at La in Accra to human error rather than breach of safety regulations. There have been speculations the challenge came about because of the station's failure to comply with safety regulations as well as its location. But the authority says preliminary investigations suggest it is not accurate. Moving on, the influx of plastic rice into parts of West Africa seems to be gaining much attention. The BBC on Wednesday reported under a banner headline, "Plastic Rice Seized in Nigeria," that Nigeria has confiscated 2.5 tons of plastic rice smuggled into the country by some unscrupulous businessmen. Back here in Ghana, however, the Food and Drugs Authority have denied reports of the presence of the plastic rice. Unfortunately, some consumers Joy Business interacted with are disregarding the health hazard, saying they will still go for any rice presented for sale on the market. Amelie Josu has been finding out more on some of these markets.
Reports say authorities in Nigeria have seized more than 100 bags of plastic rice believed to have been shipped from China. The situation attracted wide condemnation as video footage of this nefarious activity went viral on social media. Back home here in Ghana, patronage of the staple food continues to enjoy increase, especially as the Yuletide approaches. Unfortunately, a look around some markets indicates consumers are apathetic towards the news. Some people Joy Business spoke with said they will still buy and consume any rice they find irrespective of the dangers associated. Others were not aware of the menace. So I'm here in the central business district of Accra, and I just met two sisters who bought rice, but then I want to find out from them if they know about the presence of plastic rice on the Ghanaian market. Hi, how are you doing?
We are doing good.
So have you heard about plastic rice on the Ghanaian market or in the news?
Yes, please.
And how do you know whether the rice you just bought is plastic rice or not?
Okay, we can't tell because there is no test for us to see whether the rice is plastic or is the quality one.
And have you read any article or documents that determines how to test for plastic rice?
No, please. So authority must help us to do that.
So why did you make this choice of rice in the first place?
I just see it to be rice and I bought it.
And is that the rice you've been patronizing all this while?
Yes, please.
Okay, but according to research and what they've gathered so far, they said that the plastic rice has this bad odor. So right now, when you bought this rice, you take it home. What if you cook and it turns out in a different way?
We shall manage it because, you know, there is no money anywhere again. So what we had is what we are going to manage with the family.
So you mean to say if the rice you just bought turns out to be plastic rice when you get home, you will eat it like that?
Yes.
Don't you care about the repercussions, the health effect it has?
Okay, it's also important, but how will you do? As far as there is no money anywhere, there is no money again, we have to manage it like that.
And what if you fall sick and you have to go to the hospital? You are going to waste money in treating your own self again?
Yeah, that will be the case.
Since we have rice which has stayed in the market for a long time, and we know how it tastes, how the texture is and everything. So when you are buying rice, you check the brand name and check where it's coming from, maybe Ghana, Togo, anywhere. Then before you cook the rice, just feel the rice, the color of the rice. Sometimes the rice comes in and it's very datey. So you check the rice, the dates, the expiring dates is very important. I like the local rice. Since my hometown, we cultivate our own rice, so we normally eat our own rice.
Have you heard about the reports of the presence of plastic rice on the Ghanaian market?
Yes, all the time at the petrol this market, I hear say some rice. If you make the rice, if you take to make a mutio, it they make crying. Some rice, if you take to make mutio, it they make ba. So we get different type of rice. So the government to go enter the market, inside the market, the rice is not good. It's to abandon all the rice. We need the good rice. If you take to make a mutio, it they make crying. That's what we need.
President of the Ghana Rice Interprofessional Body, Amoro, advised consumers to patronize locally produced rice to be safe. He debunked fears of contamination and rebarging of locally grown rice.
And you know, there are some advantages that we have, that we get from our local rice here, or the Ghana rice that we produce. First and foremost, our rice doesn't go beyond 1 year, a season, because the capacity that we are producing actually hasn't reached what we can use to we can feed the nation with. And so all the rice that we produce within a season is finished. And so this has gives us the advantages of not using pesticides. We don't treat it with pesticides. And so it's fresh and it's free of pesticides, and that makes it very tasty. The rice now that we have, I can assure Ghanaians that the quality is improving daily, and at least once they know what they are eating, they are confident that it will be good for their health, and of course economic. We have a lot to benefit if we grow what we eat, and we eat what we grow.
So the next time you go out to buy rice, observe it carefully and pay much attention to what you eat, or better still, eat what you know. For Joy Business, Amele Josu.
And away from that, the vessel that will be used to collect, process and store oil and gas from the Sankofa Jinyame gas project is to be named after former President John Agyekum Kufuor. Sources say the name was settled on by government and partners earlier this year. There's more in this report.
A formal commissioning of the FPSO should have happened this week, but Joy Business understands the event has been moved to next year. The vessel is expected in the country in March 2017 to aid commercial production of gas and oil at the field. The John Agyekum Kufuor vessel has the capacity to store about 2 million barrels of crude oil and the size of 4 football pitches. The vessel has been designed in a way that will result in accommodating more gas than crude oil. Commercial production at the field will start July next year and will produce 180 million standard cubic feet of gas daily, sufficient to generate approximately 1,100 megawatts of electricity. First gas is expected in February 2018, in addition to 30,000 barrels of oil daily to be produced from August 2017. The almost $8 billion project is jointly owned by ENI, Vitol and GNPC.